Hi, everyone. I wish you could see how cute Milo's being right now. Oh, so cute. So cute. But at least you can see her leg. That's something. Her little leg is cute. Maybe she'll turn around. Oh, come on. You know when they do that thing where they like close their eyes and they're like, oh man. Hi everyone. Welcome. Sorry I'm late. I got the camera working. Everything's fine. Today we're just gonna listen to my album. Some of you have been having your ear talked off about this for 3 months. Others maybe are just finding out. So I have to, I have to try to keep promoting, even though I learned that promotion is a skill. It's also kind of like a muscle, which I had no strength in that muscle. And so after like a week of promoting, I was like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. So I'm trying my best, but I really next time maybe should enlist some help or something. Because anyway, a lot of respect, even more respect for indie musicians who are doing all their own promotion. It's just rah. Oh, so howdy howdy. Spider Track says ordered the vinyl on Bandcamp, had a preview of a few of the tracks, really beautiful and huge ambient soundscapes. What a wonderful way to show my gratitude for your videos. That is so nice. Thank you. And I'm really excited for the vinyl. I think it'll feel so great to hold it. And I don't have a vinyl, I don't have a record player myself, but one of my friends does. So I'm going to listen to the test pressing on their system and go from there. Yay. Wax Duck says, I hope we play Belitany, explicit binaural remix. It's like the original, except I Will Be Left/Right are hard panned, originally only on the Japanese vinyl release. That's nice. You've set up a whole like Ixie lore for me. That's fun. But yeah, thanks for your support. It's my first one and it'll only, hopefully get better from there. And, but I probably wouldn't have made it without y'all. I mean, I feel pretty clear that I wouldn't have made it without y'all. It would have been all instrumental, which might be my next release. We'll see. And it wouldn't have been as well engineered, because I wouldn't have had any money. So thank you all for those of you that supported the Kickstarter, and thank you for those of you that have bought the album. If you want to still buy it, there's going to be a CD and vinyl, and there's some prints of the cover, because the cover art is so incredible, on my Bandcamp. And I should probably put that link here if I can just tear my hand away from the cutest cat ever. Oh my God. Okay. Milo. So cute. How's everyone doing today? Thanks for spending some of your Saturday with me. There it is. Oh, okay. Rob, you said the order would be changed for the vinyl. No, I didn't actually change it. I did shuffle a few songs around before I released it on Bandcamp, and but that's the final order for everything. And I talked to the mastering engineer, and he said, well, this each side is 18 minutes long. So personally, I don't think you're going to have any issue with certain bassy tracks being too close to the edge or what have you. That was my concern. Was like, I want to make sure that the fidelity is, So, yeah, same order. Barca Tactics. Do you sing or did you hire a vocalist? I sing. Yes, my first time singing on an album, and yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed that my first album would be an instrumental album because that's always what I have written, and it just didn't work out that way. I just started writing songs, and I just kind of went with it. So it's scary. I mean, honestly, it feels like the most vulnerable thing possible in some ways to sing and then also sing your lyrics. So both of those together was a tall order, but I did it, and you can do hard things too. Uh, Z rotor. Be sure to point out when you used rototoms. Oh, I will. Of course I will. I mean, the whole album is just filled with rototoms because, as you know, it's just my absolute favorite thing to hear in music. So yeah, I couldn't help myself. Um, XY. How, with only 43 viewers, do you maintain such high spirits and not just want to flush the whole thing down the toilet? I don't know if I'm just projecting my own neuroses. Are you talking about me? Oh, I'm thrilled. I have, 10,000 listens on Spotify. I have 75, well, 400 something people bought the album. And to me, that feels amazing because I guess I was expecting, when you release something as an independent artist, you really don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just trying to make something that people care about, and people do care about it. So, yeah. Are you talking about 43 viewers on this live stream? Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't promote this live stream at all, and it's always really low at the beginning. And it'll pick up, but I don't know. To me, I think it's all about perspective. It's like if you want to have millions of people watching you, then of course you're going to be disappointed with 150 people watching you. But if I thought about sitting in a room playing music and 150 people were there, wouldn't that feel great? I mean, it would feel great to me. So I guess it's really kind of your own personal benchmark of success and impact. And I guess since I don't want to be famous, then, I think it would be harder for me to have the maybe exposure that someone else might be looking for. Would I like to reach more people? Yeah, and I'll keep working on it. But I don't want to. I've just never been interested in that kind of exposure. So, long story short, I think it's about perspective. Arish Mickey, lore question. Why does decca begin at the end and end at the beginning? Huh. I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that. It begins at the end and ends at the beginning? Okay, I guess I'm talking about, or thinking about maybe the titles. Finally feels like an ending word to you, and big womb feels like birth. Is that what you're going for? Cool. Well, to me, finally is not about the end at all. It's saying, I mean, there are finallys all throughout life, reaching for something and then finally. So it doesn't feel like the end. And big womb, yeah. That one's a lot more abstract. I guess they're both kind of abstract. That's just how the album worked out. Sugar Soar, 43 viewers. Her viewers raised over 50. They raised $21,000 in well, it was 10,000 in a day. And then over the course of the next week, it raised up to 21,000. To me, that felt like a huge success, for sure. 214% of my goal was met in 2 weeks. That's amazing. So I feel supported. Yeah. But let's put it this way. If I had nobody listening, how would you get yourself to keep going? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a delicate balance. It's like you want to make art for yourself, right? Instead of making it for other people, like what would they want? What would they like? That kind of thing. And if people aren't listening, then it's like not even worth doing. I guess for me, a lot of me making it was for me. but it was also meant to be shared. So of course it feels better when you make art for yourself and also it resonates with other people and they're experiencing it, right? And yes, it feels better to have maybe 1,000 people experiencing it than 100 people, right? But how do you keep going? I mean, it could be hard. I could imagine that being hard, feeling like nobody cares. And I think a lot of indie artists are in that space. They're hustling, they're making great music, and it feels like nobody cares. And it's a good question. I don't know if I have an answer, but I do notice that the artists who, grow their audience, they just keep going. There's like some other drive. It's not about the immediate satisfaction of having people listen and going, I liked that, It's probably a part of like they have a goal and they're going to do whatever they can to reach it, and they're just going to keep trying and they're just never going to give up. And that's a personality trait that not all of us have. I don't know if I have that, but I also think that sometimes for an artist it's sort of like, what else I have to make art. It's like, what is life without making it? So the art's going to get made anyway. That's my initial thought about that. Yeah. Zeroter. The order on Bandcamp with mixes reversed. So on Bandcamp, I put some alternate mixes on there. They're only on Bandcamp. I don't know if I'll ever release them on streaming. They're not on the CD. They're not on the vinyl. They are a bonus for the Bandcamp people. And there are seven alternate mixes. Most of them are just the instrumental mixes of the songs. And a couple of them are just like different mixes, like meant to, I included the mix that I had originally composed it with, which didn't have a bass. It was like a lot more ethereal and didn't have drums or anything. It was just sort of that organ and the voice. So I called it the light mix. And then Like a Fire is and the instrumental version, but also I changed the drums to a little something more gentle without the driving vocals, kind of crescendoing. The drums felt really harsh. It didn't feel right. So I took out some of the harsh drums and just left the kick and I think the hi-hat maybe, or the ride cymbal. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's a ride cymbal. And so I called it the Instrugental remix. And then there's a bonus track called Ellipsis, which is an interlude kind of in it. It's paired with Calling Me Back In, so it comes after that. But that song's not on the album. Why did I reverse the order? I guess it seemed interesting to do that. I wanted to hear what it sounded like reversed, going the other way with the instrumental remixes or mixes. I thought it sounded really cool. And I don't know, I like symmetry. Yeah, I don't know. Overand says, my chat with my therapist yesterday, I realized that it's okay if I don't finish putting an album together as long as I'm still loving what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, now having gone through the experience of working so hard on it and then finishing it, it's my first one, so I can't say for sure. But for this, at least, the most magical part of it was making it. Not to say that I don't feel great having it released. It does feel really great to be like, I finally did it. I finally made an album after all these years of being afraid. I finally did it. It's done. It's out. I'm going to be holding it in my hands, and that's going to feel awesome. But making it was, if I had to trade one for the other, there's no contest. It's the making. It's the creation that I think is the most exhilarating and powerful and life-changing, But then again, I also am not like touring and I'm not famous. So maybe it feels very, very different when you're performing and everything. I imagine a lot of musicians would maybe say that the performing is the magic, right? Which you can't which you can do if you don't finish an album. You can just play the songs that you've finished. You had to finish something, I guess, to perform, right? But yeah, finishing things was has been a struggle for me and still is. It's hard. There's something, you get that like initial burst of creation the first few days, at least for me, and then you start to get in your head, and it's like you almost like finish 80% of the song in like 2 days, and then the last 20% can feel really grueling or tedious, and my perfectionism will come up, and my self-doubt and my second guessing, and then I'll start adding things and adding things and adding things, and you start to lose perspective, and you're like, I don't even enjoy this anymore, and then you kind of leave it. And that's kind of been how like a lot of things would go for me, writing music. I finished stuff like crazy when I was a teenager. Sorry, I have something in my eye. But I just didn't have the same standards that I do now. So I think that is tough too. When you're a teenager, a kid, you're creating and you're finishing things and you're putting them out there and you're sharing them with people, and it's a lot less scary. And then you get older, you develop more standards. And of course, just life is very different as an adult. But my mom is writing a book, and I keep reminding her that like, finishing it will feel really amazing. And that'll be something that she wants to do, in her life, is finish this book. But also like that she's probably going to enjoy the process of making it even more. And so to just really live in that enjoyment and not worry, just keep moving forward. Don't give up, but really live in the moment with writing the book. So I'm going to take that advice to myself the next time I make something, is like, it's not really about the finish line, I'll get there, but the best part is right now. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens if I start performing. I don't know. So hi, AJ. Oh, it's okay. You can leave. You can have us both on. You can mute us both and have us both. Muted talking heads. Arash Mickey, in hindsight, would you have tested the water more if you could have in some way? Tested the water. Like, you mean like just put out a single? Is that what you mean? Or, Macaw. Sorry, this is kind of turning into a Q&A. We'll listen to it in a second. And then, yeah. Macaw, 67. Did you use different scales on your album? I am sure that I did, but I don't know what all of them are. But they sound different. There's different sounds. Different scales have different sounds, and there's a couple songs where I don't think there is a scale. It's kind of lots of chords that don't belong together, that kind of thing. But I don't analyze my own music. I could, but I don't know that I want to. I'm not sure how that would transform my process if I was flipping that switch, which is very analytical, as opposed to just letting it flow creatively. Flim Flam Film says holding it in your hands is the best part. All right. Which I haven't done yet. So yeah, well, we'll see. Hi, Mojo. You are here. You made it. Yay. Arash Mickey, before committing. Oh, and before committing. I guess I'm still not quite sure what you're asking. Sorry. Before committing to making an album, or could you give me an example of what testing the water would look like? Yeah. Moises, there's something to performing live. Before we had recordings, almost all music was for performance. Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't done it in a long time. Arash Mickey, XY asked how you keep going, so I was wondering, what if XY knew what was ahead? So I wondered, how can XY find out what's ahead? Hence, testing the waters. I don't know. Sorry. trying a single, getting feedback from people. Well, I have released singles, so I don't know. It felt making an album was more important to me than releasing another single. Um, if I were to do it again, yeah, I mean, releasing singles and then them all culminating in like an EP would have been a lot less work, and that might have been less stressful. But I also don't regret what I did. So, but to give advice to someone else who's never ever released any music ever, yeah, maybe start with a single just so you can see what the process is like. And then maybe after that, do an EP, and then after that, do an album, maybe. I mean, my album's not that long. It's not like a 15-song album. That, I think, would have been too much for me to handle by myself. And by myself, I don't mean I didn't have your support and your financial support, but, you know, like just the making of it and then the promoting of it. Yeah. Okay. So, why don't we listen to it? How about that? Why don't we listen to it? It's 37 minutes, and I think we'll just listen to. Should we just listen? I guess we can stop it between if you have questions. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Um, so I don't drink, and I also don't like advocate drinking games, so to speak. But I have tea here, and every time I hear myself do a flat six chord. Now that's something I don't have to analyze, by the way. The flat six chord, way before I ever knew what it was called, I just when I would hear it, I'd be like, that's that thing. That's the thing. That's that sound that I love. I don't know what it's called. I didn't care. And I didn't tell anyone about it, so I didn't even need to have a name. It was just this internal recognition of the like, oh, it's that thing. So anyway, but yeah, every time I hear a flat six chord, I'm gonna drink my tea, just so you can see how obsessed I am. Okay, and you are welcome to drink with me, but I hope it's something that's good for you. Please don't drink alcohol because I think you will die if. Okay, all right. I'm gonna play this probably just from Bandcamp. I think we'll just do that. Oh, but then it's going to go to ellipsis. Okay. I'll do it from... So I'm going to do it from my streaming service, but my artist profile is mixed up with someone else's on Tidal. So that's annoying. I don't really know how it works. Like, I mean, I'm not expecting to make streaming money, but it still feels weird, like having my music like mixed up with this artist. And I haven't listened to their music yet, so I don't even know what it's like. And, but it is, I'm sure they're not happy about it either. I've submitted 5 tickets. Okay. But we will do it. I I can't believe, so I have this one song that has the word sex. And it's, so now my entire album is labeled explicit. I'm like, God dang it. I didn't think about that. Okay. Death by flat 6. Yeah, right. I mean, if there's a way to go, it's not the worst way. Flim Flam Films asks a good question. Is there anything on the album that bugs you that you wish you could redo? Little things only you would notice. Absolutely. Every time I listen, it's the same little things. And I just have to go, yep, that's just the way it is. It's a good motivation though to perform, because then you'll make other mistakes, but you could like specifically work on those things and make them right to you in a live performance possibly. But yeah. Okay. Here we go. So the first track's called Finally, and I'll just let it bleed into Come to Bed, because that's how it's supposed to be.
Before we start some more songs, Daddy, I'm just going to say that there will be a few that are going to really be on the album, but are so pretty that just have to get on this tape, okay? So the one I'm just about to play, it's called
What are the things that you wish you had done on your deathbed? What is the mark you must leave that would bleed if it's not said? Come to bed, feed the earth instead. What are the things that you wish you had done on your deathbed? What is the spark you must breathe that would bleed if it's not left? Come to bed, feel the earth instead. Come to bed, feel the earth instead. Picture yourself at the end, but you took it for granted. What does the soul really mean if you can't reinvent it?
Fuck that.
Come to bed. Anything's better than catching it after it landed. If gravity holds you, then close if you can, if you let them. Come to bed, feed the earth instead. Come to bed, feed the earth instead. Will you What are the things that you wish you had done on your deathbed?
I just realized I should have put my orange lipstick on. I'm gonna do it. You guys hang out. It'll only take like 2 seconds because I'm not very good at it. Although something I've noticed is that this camera makes everything a little bit more like pink than it is. The white balance is kind of pink. But the reason I'm doing that is because if you haven't looked at the album cover, you should go look at it. It's got a lot of orange accents, which I just simply love. I told the makeup artist, I was like, I want orange all around my eyeballs. I like a almost like they're sunken in. You know, the way you would if you tried to make someone look like a skeleton, you would like put darkness around their eyes. I was like, but make it orange. And then she had the amazing idea of putting dead baby's breath on my eyelids for eyelashes. And I actually bought some baby's breath so I can practice doing that because I think it's just, it looks so cool. I love it. Okay, how does it look? Oh, look, see, that looks red. But it's orange, I promise. Oh well. That's fine. Okay, so that was Come to Bed. Next Kyrock. I didn't say that right. Ooh, great ambiance. How did you make the ending sounds? Yeah, so that was that was from the Alchemy synth in Logic, and it's kind of going through an arpeggio of I think it's some seventh chord or something. So it's got that kind of pleasant but incomplete feeling, like it's not really the end. And I was kind of imagining this song is it is. I mean, I think the meaning of the song is fairly obvious, but some people have messaged me about Come to Bed thinking it was about sex or something, and that's well and good if that's how you interpret it. But my intention was that was kind of an what's this right? Was it allegory, analogy, or euphemism for dying? And so that last part to me was my way of trying to represent the feeling of dying. I don't know, like peaceful, fluttery. I really like how that ending turned out. It's really cool. And it does, the mixing engineer, I was like, can we make it sound like it's going around you? And he was like, well, I have this one plugin that's supposed to do that. I don't know that it truly feels like that, but it does feel a little bit like it's moving. At least it doesn't feel completely center, which is nice. That feeling. Yeah. No, I did not mix it myself. Some of my mixes were better than others. But they weren't, I just don't, not only do I not have the skills yet, maybe ever, to make my music sound the way I want, engineering wise, but I also don't have the space to have like accurate acoustics, so that I could even trust what I'm hearing. I do have some nice headphones that were donated to me that are supposed to be very, very accurate with the bass response and the stereo and blah, blah, blah. But I still would prefer to like have both, So yeah, it just wasn't like, it was like, well, maybe someday I'll be able to do it. But if I want to make an album now, like I've got to hire somebody. So that was the main driver behind doing a Kickstarter, is because I really wanted to find an amazing engineer, and I did, and yeah, he did a good job. But it definitely taught me a lot just working with him about mixing, and the my biggest takeaway is, the mixing starts in the arranging. It starts way before you mix, if that makes sense. It's like it starts when you're composing. And some of my songs were easier to mix and sound better because of the way I arranged it. And those are usually the ones that have the fewest layers. So that was like, maybe it seems obvious to you, but it wasn't to me. Listening to a lot of Nine Inch Nails music, which is heavily layered in a lot of places, I was so in love with layering. Always have been. And then Nine Inch Nails gave me the permission to like just go balls to the wall with layering. And I learned firsthand how challenging that makes mixing. But that's the good news, is that, well, there's probably ways to layer things more smartly, right? So that you get the depth of the layering, but you're not crowding out all the frequency bands, and things like that. So I already feel like during the process, my my knowledge and also my like ability to hear what good arranging sounds like leveled up, but it was too late for me to implement the changes that I now could recognize to this album. So, but I think that's unfortunately kind of always the thing when you make something is like, you're going to get better and better at it, which is the good news. But that also means that whenever you listen back on something you made, you're going to have some judgments, like, oh, I could have done that better, But I think I'm trying to hold on to that perception of like a tattoo. Like, this is a tattoo. This is the manifestation of where I was at as a musician and a person at this moment, and that's cool, right? That's like not something necessarily to be like bummed about. That's what I'm trying to, when I get critical, but it can be hard. Yeah. Okay. Your lipstick appears as pinkish red. Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm not sure how to. On the other hand, I like how orange it makes Pax look, the camera. I mean, he's orange. He's a fully orange cat, but it makes him look like wah, like super orange, and he looks so beautiful on camera. So I don't think I'd want to change a thing. Okay, all right. So the next one is Calling Me Back In, which was the first single that I dropped from this album. I think most of these tracks are kind of different genres. I can't quite give each one of them like a genre, but I feel like I can sort of identify different genres within them. This one has some like trance stuff for sure. It also has some like kind of trip hop a little bit, but it also has like pop, and also like people have said like Fever Ray, and I do think Alice in Chains inspired the vocal harmonies. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit of a weird one, but this one came together really quickly, and I'm happy with it. I think it's cool. Okay, Calling Me Back In. Here we go. Drink for every flat six.
You
I just realized. Oh shit! I gotta stop it. I just realized how hard I've been trying to look like I'm not like into it. That's so weird. Why it's like it feels weird to be like, oh, I'm like really into my own music, but it also feels weird to not be. But I am. I think it sounds really cool. I'll try to shake off that weird like mask. Um, did Mila show up? Oh, she's back here. Yeah. I really noticed how much I like builds in the songs. I think all of them kind of have a climax build. Um, I just can't help myself. I just feel like it feels so amazing to create that and then to feel that wave coming and to ride it. And yeah, I should get into it. Yeah, okay, I'll let myself enjoy it. And that one's also like got such a beat. It's like hard not to. Yeah. I think it was Your God, but a couple of my friends listened to it and said, "Oh my gosh, we want to do a pole dancing routine to this." And I was like, "Yes." That one's definitely got a beat too. Oh. Okay. Thanks for the permission to enjoy my own music. I will do it. I promise. All right. I love dubstep. I really do. For a while, I was listening to a lot of dubstep. Korn came out with a dubstep album, and I think it was kind of like, I'm not sure how well it was received, but I loved it. I was like, yeah, this is right. This is good. Um, and and then a friend introduced me to like dub jungle, kind of like halftime jungle, and I was like, now that is the best of all the worlds. I like Unit is the artist that I will often cite. Rezo is another one, but man, that shit's good. It's really, really good. I was like deeply into electronic music for most of my life. That was like my main thing, and it was mostly instrumental. So but all of you requesting songs with vocals, I think, is part of why I wrote songs with vocals, because it was just what was in my head now, as opposed to just beats and synths and stuff. Yeah, Korn was my favorite band when I was a teenager. I've seen them live more than any other band. It's been a while. I think the last one was 10 years ago for their 20th anniversary, I think, or 25th. I can't remember what it was. 20th anniversary? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dungle? Yeah, I think, like, marketing-wise, maybe not the best portmanteau. Dungle. Okay. What were your inspirations for this album? I can tell you artists that influenced them for sure. Nine Inch Nails. I mean, it was inevitable. Like, I was just marinating in Nine Inch Nails for the first 2 years of my channel. I think Aurora was an influence. I think Radiohead actually was an influence. I know it doesn't maybe sound like Radiohead, but there are moments, especially Like a Fire. I think just all the electronic music that, again, I was listening to was just an influence. Certainly trip hop. So, probably some. I mean, I don't think any of these songs are trip hop, but I don't know. I've always liked those like slower grooves, which I feel like kind of, yeah, I'm not sure. I think Björk was an influence in certain spots for sure. What else? Oh, Madani. She's not as well known, but she should be. She's amazing. And there's more. I'm kind of blanking at the moment. I don't know. I just kind of went with my gut instinct on a lot of the sound of things. It's just like, this is this is what it is in my head. So I'm not sure where it's coming from. That's just where, And I did worry about the cohesion because the genres are a little all over the place. But ultimately, I was like, uh, that's what they sound like. I can't imagine them another way. So, and I want them to be together on this album because, again, they're that like snapshot of myself, and it felt like there. I mean, there certainly is. There are themes that connect them all, and there's things I'm writing about that are all together in there. So, anyway, I've heard a little Fiona Apple in my voice. Cool. Don't do genres, just be yourself. Yeah. Portishead. I do like Portishead a lot. I've only really listened to Dummy though, but why the name Decca? Well, this was before I knew that there was a record label called Decca. Oops. But I really didn't have a title for a long time. And then I just started thinking about what the album meant to me. And I realized it was about the last 10 years of my life and what I've been through, what I did, the experiences I had, just, it was a lot happened in that decade. And so I think just I don't know, I liked making up words kind of. And again, I know I didn't actually make this word up, but it felt like I had made it up, or it felt like something I hadn't heard before, Decca. And I was going to spell it with one C, but then I thought people might possibly read it as decca, which isn't bad, but it didn't feel right. So I put two C's. And and so I started calling it Decca, and then it just kind of stuck, and I was like, okay, I think that's it. I think that's the title, and that feels right. Yeah. I often like abstract things for like with songs that have lyrics, it's so obvious what I should call them. But for things that don't have lyrics, and an album is again, it's a bigger piece. I will often go into more abstract realms. And when I was writing trance music when I was a teenager, all the songs were the song titles were very kind of weird. Like, I made up a word, Annovator, and Don't Hurt Silver was the song title. Stuff like that. I don't know. Okay. There's a cat behind me. Yes, there is. So cute. Okay, so the next song is taking down the energy to Like a Fire. I could probably drink on all the flat sixes on this one because it's a slow changes.
Reasons
There's a couple songs on this album that I genuinely am worried I won't be able to sing without crying. That's one of them. And I have this singer, what's her name, Rosette, I think, that I follow on Instagram, and she's made a couple videos about that. People saying like, I can't stop myself from crying when I sing this song. Like, how do I, And she just says, like, you just have to not. She said you have to imagine and know that you're in service of the audience in that moment. It's not about you, and so you have to create just enough disconnection from what you're singing about or the beauty of the sound, whatever it is that might be making you cry, so that you can perform, but also not so much that you're cut off from the emotion. And I was like, oh my fucking God. But yeah, has anybody else had that experience? I mean, sometimes I just get teary listening to a beautiful song. I'm not even like listening to the lyrics. It's not about that. It's like overwhelming how powerful and beautiful it is or whatever. And I just find myself welling up, man, just McCall cries when you sing certain songs. Yeah. But I do feel like, to me, I knew that I had written what I needed to write when I felt those feelings coming up. Cause I was like, oh, I hit the nerve. You know what I mean? Like, this is, and even listening to it back, feeling those feelings too, going like, oh, to me, it's like, does not matter if anybody else gets this. It connected me to what I'm trying to say. And that's all that matters, Yeah. Oh, Nine Inch Nails hurt. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and someone mentioned The Day the World Went Away. That one for sure influenced some of the things in this song. I'm sure of it. This one felt very like, I haven't spent a lot of time listening to Tori Amos, but I still feel as if she influenced this song. And when I wrote it, I hadn't made that Tori Amos video that some of you have watched yet. So I'd really only heard her stuff like on the radio. Like, that's it. But I still feel like somehow she got in there, and Radiohead and Nine Inch Nails. Like, those are the three that I sort of hold as like being my guides in this song. Moise is talking about disconnecting from your emotions just a little bit to sing without crying, like playing yourself as a character to dissociate a bit. Yeah, right. I mean, that's actually a cool thing you said, playing a character. I think performing can be a little bit like that, Like, there are several artists. I mean, I think Michael Jackson and Beyonce are great examples of artists who their personality isn't super out there. It's not over the top at all. They're very like they're like softer and more internal and kind of, yeah, it's like really gentle personality. And then when they get on stage, it's like this persona takes over. And Beyonce even named hers, right? Sasha Fierce. But I think it's really helpful. The same thing as when I put a mask on. It kind of feels like I'm, like given permission to be a different part of myself or something. Oh, maybe I should just wear a mask. That would make everything so much easier. Just baby's breath. I'll just have baby's breath in front of my face. Do I rate Billie Eilish? Rate? Or listen to? I really like Billie Eilish. I have not purchased any of her records, but certainly she's gotten in the bloodstream, and one of her songs is, I think, so amazing. What is When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Is that what it's called? No, Bury a Friend. Sorry. It's called Bury a Friend. That one is so dope. Oh my God. But she has a new album, and maybe it's not even that new anymore, but I've been meaning to make a video about it, and I wanted to listen to it on camera. But I've heard snippets of it, and I was pretty blown away. There was this song, I think it's, I forget what it's called, but it was a snippet, and it had this like really funky bass, and this really kind of gentle drum beat. But she went like, then she went, and I was like, something about the way she was singing, the way she was like crescendoing every single note, or maybe it was like hairpins, like, I don't know. And the huge jumps in her voice, I was just entranced. So anyway, I totally respect her. I just haven't like spent a lot of time, but yeah, I feel like still she was an influence. When I wrote "Come to Bed," I was like, surely I just ripped off Billie Eilish. Like, I swear this is some, but then I was like, no, it's not, but it just sounds like her. So I think she was certainly an influence, if that's what you meant. A wig that covers my face. I could just do that with my actual hair. I have a picture of me. Let's see if I can do it now. Uh-oh. I think I just got lipstick. How about that? It definitely affects my voice. How's it going? I think I did it with a hoodie before. I had it like my hair going through a hoodie. But, oh, that's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. Never do that, especially with lipstick on. Ugh. Okay. All right. We're back. A wig. That wasn't tea, was it? Yeah, so if you got here at the beginning, I was going to drink this tea every time I heard a flat six chord, but quickly realized that was stupid because there's just so many of them. I mean, there's one song that I wrote on this album that doesn't have it. That's it. There's just one. Literally, that's it. One. Well, actually, no, I guess there's two. But the rest, it's like a part of the chord progression. So it's like every bar I would be drinking this tea. And anyway. Okay. I love like realizing that so I do think that there was some of Perfect Circle and Billie Howardell influence, which it wasn't maybe as obvious to me, but you guys keep mentioning it and I'm starting to hear it. And I do think that's true. And if I can I don't know if this is like a brag or just I'm so excited about it, but Billie Howardell bought a vinyl of this album and I might have shed a tear. I was like, that is insane. That is a thing I never, ever, ever thought would happen. I hadn't even thought about that happening. Oh my God. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, I can't believe it. I'm so excited. Yeah. I mean, he's the nicest person. Danny Lohner saw either a Perfect Circle or Nine Inch Nails video I made first. But eventually he watched them both. He sent the Perfect Circle videos to Billy. It was like, you got to check this out. And then Billy reached out and was like, this is so amazing. Like how much you put into this. And, thank you so much. And I was like, oh, I'm going to die. And then since then, he's just been so generous. He's invited me to his shows. He's given me tickets and he's like, wished me happy birthday. And like, I met him and his wife. They're it's just really nice. It's so nice to meet like such a genuine, kind, awesome, grounded rock star. Let's put it that way. So Billy is awesome. We love Billy and so talented. And he was like, I don't really know much music theory. I know a little bit, but I kind of don't want to know more. And I was like, Billy, you don't need any music theory. He was like, really? It's like, no. Oh my God. Okay. Arish Mickey, someone mentioned that they felt like EXP maybe influenced Your God. And I was like, you're probably right. When I remembered EXP and I listened to it again, I was like, this is such an incredible piece of music. It's so beautiful. It's got that a little bit folky, almost like the feeling I get when I listen to Rose, but then it's got the more electronic component to it. But he's singing with this woman. It sounds so ethereal and so magical. It's just incredible. You guys got to listen to that song, EXP. You should listen to his whole album though. What Normal Was. Actually, I have a whole listening party of that album on my YouTube channel, so you can search for it. Okay, all right. Next is Your God. This one's got a little bit of industrial sheen. I mean, there's literally a hammer in there. I don't think it sounds like an industrial genre song, but it has just a little bit more of an edge. And Nine Inch Nails was definitely an influence. Yes. Okay. I'm going to turn it up. Oh my gosh, I love the ending. It was like there my favorite thing is when you're making a song and you just know how it's supposed to be. There's not any other option that crosses your mind, and you don't second guess it. Second guessing is so painful sometimes. It's so exhausting and so confusing. And it just feels great when you're just like, "Oh, I know. I know." And you don't have to think about it at all. So that ending was like, although I have to give props to one of my students. I played him a rough draft of this. And I think originally I had it, "Could I be your God?" Like it was like halfway through the God that I cut the song, and it was just, the vocals by those cells. He was like, "Oh, I was kind of imagining it would just be right on the word God." And I tried it, and so thank you, Andrew. That was such a good piece of feedback because it does sound better. It sounds so much more striking to have it just God. And it's syncopated too, which is so cool. But yeah. Why choose a lyric? Just sing both. Yes. So there's like two sets of lyrics going on, not the entire time, but in the verses often there's two sets of lyrics and they'll kind of overlap sometimes and then be different. And I used this one was hard. This was a hard one to mix. My mixing engineer was very patient because there was a lot of details and so many layers and things, and the vocals have all these stacks, and some of them are processed with just a little bit of compression. Others have a vocal bender that's changing the formant, like ah, and then some of them are formant shifted and pitched down, and then some of them are sung an octave lower, and there's everything in between, and then some of them have a ghostly delay, and just trying to like make space for all of them, and I have a lot to learn about vocal stacks, but it was so fun trying to figure out how to do it. And I think Agnes Obel's song Familiar really drove home in my head how amazing formant shifts can sound. I've heard formant shifts. If you don't know what that is, that's like when you hear a vocal that's not sped up, but it sounds like a chipmunk, or it's like a vocal that sounds like Witch House, but it's not slowed down. You can just you can just make the larynx sound bigger or smaller without changing the speed or the pitch or anything. And you can also change them both. But she has this beautiful song called Familiar, and the whole chorus is formant shifted down. And she sings about love is a ghost that the others can't see or something. So it sounds very like a little bit, creepy. And I was just like, someday I'm going to do something like that. And this song just felt like it was begging for some formant shifts and some super low vocals. And I wanted to create this feeling of like an entity that was gender neutral in some ways, and that like had so many parts to it. So I was trying to do. Yeah, it's cool. And there's an organ in there. There's a cymbalom. There's a pad. And then the fat bass. That thing was stacked. That was the fullest. It had 125 tracks. By the way, if you want to see some of a breakdown of all of that, if you go to my channel and type in your God, you'll see something with a thumbnail with the session open. And I broke down the drums layer by layer, lots of layers, and then I showed you the stems of the other parts. What company made your disc and cover? So I designed the cover. The photographer that I worked with for the cover was Ava Burgeon, and the stylist was Elena Cortez Nevel. Makeup artist was Lainey Garcia, and she not only does like beauty makeup and fashion makeup, but she also does prosthetics and special effects makeup for movies and stuff. So she put prosthetic mushrooms on me. We didn't put any prosthetics on my face. We just put the baby's breath, and then she put prosthetic on my tattoo, and then she did airbrush makeup to make it look like I was decomposing and stuff. So that was she was the perfect person for that. And then my friend Laura Totten felted the mushrooms that are in the cover, and I have them now in a mushroom shrine on my wall. I love them so much. Anyway, so that's the cover. The vinyl is going to be pressed by Gold Rush Vinyl, which is a local company, and they outsource the printing of the packaging. So I don't know what they use, but I don't have them in hand yet. What's on the thumbnail is a mock-up, but that is the vinyl. That's the color that it's going to have. And I'm very excited, but it's going to take a couple months. This is final. So a cymbalom apparently is a type of dulcimer. I wasn't sure because people are like, I love the hammer dulcimer. And I was like, is it a, but it is. It's just a flavor, I guess, of a dulcimer. I'm not sure what the difference is between like the hammered dulcimer we all know and love and a cymbalom. Either way, it sounded like a dulcimer. And I was just like, whatever this instrument is, I love it. And it's a VST by Spitfire. Totally worth it. I think it's $29 and it's so cool. That was the tremolo. So it's going during the chorus on the chords. Yeah. Aw, Sam Owens. That's such a touching reflection. Thank you. Oh. Okay. And that's going to be the first side of the vinyl. That whole thing was the first side. So now we turn it over and we start with Meant To. And Meant To is followed by Belitany. And these songs go together. So I'm going to let them bleed into each other. They were written a long time ago. And they were written in 2018. And I was just starting to experiment with vocals just a little bit. I was living in a house with a music room, and I have the video of me writing Meant To on my friend's Korg, I think, synthesizer. I found like an organ sound, and I think I was like alone in the house, so I felt like I could just sing at the top of my lungs, which is so cool. And then my mom had to fly to Seattle to take care of her brother who just had a heart attack, and so she had to leave without any notice. And she had a little dog that she couldn't take with her. It just wasn't gonna work out. So I went and I lived at her apartment for 2 weeks while she was there in Seattle, and take care of her pup. And there I wrote. I recorded Meant To into GarageBand with my iPhone for vocals. And then Belitany, I wrote, I think, back at the house a little bit after that. And they were always meant to go together. I obviously re-recorded Meant To. I didn't use the demo from GarageBand. However, little tidbit. The very last vocal snippet in Meant To is the original iPhone recording, because I just couldn't recreate that snippet better than I sang it that first time in my iPhone. So I just used it. And honestly, I'm not sure if you can tell. I think that it has a lot of reverb on it, so that helps. Okay, here we go.
I am will be yours, I will be theirs, I will be lies, I will be spine, I will be real, I will be mine, I will be dreamed, I will be death, I will be small, I will be chained, I will be breath, I will be light, I will be truth, I will be old, I will be fake, I will be youth, I will be seen, I will be song, I will be right, I will be led, I will be raw, I will be green, I will be soft, I will be sick, I will be brave, I will be God, I will be lost, I will be crude, I will be found, I will be moved, I will be last, I will be hurt, I will be next, I will be last, I will be first, I will be sex, I will be shrewd, I will be tongue, I will be spit, I will be chewed, I will be weak, I will be alive, I will be soft, I will be dark, I will be wise, I will be need, I will be stone, I will be still, I will be reaped, I will be sown, I will be loved, I will be there, I will be there, I will be there, I will be there, I will be loud, I will be soul, I will be flesh, I will be whole, I will be, I will be, I will be, I will be, I will be. I will be here, I will be scared, I will be strong, I will be yours, I will be theirs, I will be here, I will be scared, I will be strong, I will be yours, I will be theirs, I will be here, I will be blamed, I will be strong, I will be called, I will be named, I will be alive, I will be here, I will be here, I will be here, I will be
Okay, some questions about this one. Instrumentation wise, it's hella layered. The things playing the dum 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 is, these are all VSTs: mandolin, Irish bouzouki, Greek bouzouki, guitar acoustic. I'm sorry, harmonics, acoustic guitar harmonics, and a mandolin. I think that's it. And then when it really kicks in, I'm also playing two different acoustic guitars strumming. The dum dum da dum da da dum dum dum. But they're just supportive. They're not supposed to be like forward. And then the bass is like a double pizzicato double bass sample. And then the drums I played with a really, like, the best electronic drum kit I've ever laid my sticks upon. And now my standards are like through the roof. It was a Roland what's it called? TKV? Is it Roland TK? MTV TK27. It's like their top of the line, and it really did feel like a real drum kit a lot of the times. And I was like, okay, I guess these can be pretty great. Because I was sort of like, I had only played like not very good electronic kits before, and it was such a frustrating experience. But this was actually quite freeing. It was cool. And then lots of ethereal backup vocals, which all came from Meant To. They're all, I mean, they're not taken from that song, but they're the same melody and with harmonies and stuff. I think those, oh yeah, and then the drums also have, had my drumsticks. I was hitting them against each other. Tick, 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 tick. And then I also had a vocal percussive layer where I was going tick, 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 tick. So I think that's a, yeah. I played the drums at my house. They were in that corner. Now it's like a station for shipping all of these orders when they come. But the electronic kit is great. I mean, it still makes noise, no doubt, but like my room is kind of set off from the other rooms, but still one night I was playing them at like 11 and I shouldn't have been. And one of my housemates texted me and said, do you have shoes in the dryer? She thought I was like tumbling shoes in a dryer. And I was like, no. And the next morning it dawned on me. I was like, oh, she could hear feel the kick drum, the thud, of just hitting that pad going through the floorboards. So it's still, it still could disturb people somewhat, but it won't disturb your neighbors and it won't, ruin your ears. So I rented it from a local music store. They only rent and sell Roland drums and a couple brands of pianos and electric pianos, digital pianos, I mean. But they were so great. Shout out to Capital Music Capital Music Center, Capital Music Center. Yeah, they're great. Okay. All right. Thank you, Derek. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, if you like what you're hearing and you have, you have the money, not everybody does, I get it. And you want to support what I'm doing and you want to, help support me making more albums, then the best way to do that is to buy this album on Bandcamp. And the link is pinned above. There's digital, there's CD, vinyl, and there's also an art print option. And all of those come with the digital album, so you don't have to buy them separately or anything. And what else? I also have a Nine Inch Nails piano cover album that you might be interested in that you could also purchase. How did you know how it sounded and could be useful for your album? The drums? I just heard in my head. Well, originally Belitany, its demo didn't have. It didn't have kit drums like that. It was just me clacking sticks together. So, but then when I was fully producing it, I was just like, hang on, this could sound really dope with drums. And I was renting the drum kit already just because I wanted to. I just wanted to have drums in the house again and see how it was playing a nice E kit. And so I sat down and I banged that out. And that drum beat I feel like is very, even though it might not sound like exactly like Radiohead to you, I feel like the pattern came from me learning a lot of Radiohead songs on drums, and it just sort of like naturally came out like that. Yes, the vinyl is orange. Yeah. I mean, I haven't held it in my hands yet. It's still, they haven't even made the test pressing, but it's submitted, and it's an orange that has gold mixed into it. It's not swirled. It's all like mixed in. So it'll have like some shimmeriness to it. So I'm excited. Okay. We just got 2 tracks left. And the next one is Silver Screening. And then the last one is Big Bloom. So Silver Screening is the other one that I just can't seem to get through without crying. So that one will take a lot of practice. But I would really like to be able to perform these. I'm just going to need some time, you know. I'm going to need some time to practice the vocals. Like, it's one thing to record an album with vocals where you can record things in small chunks. It's another thing to sit there for an hour. I mean, it wouldn't be, I guess, an hour. 40 minutes. Well, I guess the first and last track are instrumentals. Okay, fine. 30 minutes. I don't know. And sing straight that long, you know, and do your absolute best performance while you're also doing other things, right? That's the other thing is like recording vocals. That's all you're doing. You're just sitting there and you can just put every bit of attention on really nailing it. But when you're performing, you're also doing, I mean, I guess I could just perform like, here's the backing track and here's just me singing over it. I mean, that could be a good place to start, but it will take some practice just to get the vocals feeling like I'm confident in performing, and also to figure out how I want to do the performance. Yeah, like how, do I want people to play with me? Do I want to do it by myself? If I do it by myself, how do I want to do it? What parts do I want to play live? What parts are playback? Do I want to re-record anything? Oh my gosh, you know, and then just the logistics of it all. And so maybe in the fall, I could figure something out, or maybe before that I could do something really simple and just sing over the backing tracks, you know. That would, Arish Mickey, that would be a dipping my toes in, kind of testing the waters, step-by-step situation for sure. Yeah. Playing an instrument and doing vocals at the same time is, so that's why when I was watching Tori Amos on that video I did, it just was like, she's just like nailing it. She's just nailing both of them. And it looks so effortless. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know if people realize, I mean, I think people know she's amazing, but like, I don't know if they realize how intricate what she's playing is, like so rhythmically intricate and tight. And then it seems as if she's putting 100% into the keyboard and 100% into her voice. And they both sound amazing. It's very impressive. Yeah. Right. And then, of course, giving them every bit of your charisma and attention and like, oh, yeah, she's so amazing. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for the suggestion for a band. Oh, for playing with me? Cool. All right. I will write it down. All right. Silver screening. Okay. This one I think was inspired a lot by London Grammar. That's at least one of the influences. And this was the last one that I wrote. This is the most recent one. Sorry. Um, okay, that one's called Silver Screening, and that one's. I think I haven't said this really too much in public, and I don't know if my parents are going to watch this. Hopefully, they don't. But it's about them and my childhood, and so I think it's just so. It's like so primally painful. Just something about that subject, at least for me, it's just so, still so tender. Um, and I want to shout out Volmar. I don't know if he's on the stream, but Volmar played the guitar in that song. I originally had a bunch of different lines that were being played by a keyboard or by a synth or something. So I sent him a few of them. I was like, I'm curious what these would sound like with guitar. And he sent me back this beautiful arpeggio that he wrote. And you can probably hear a little better on the instrumental version of it on Bandcamp. But it's just so exquisite. So I'm so thankful for his contribution to it. And then I used a cello VST through most of the song, but the very first line, I actually had my housemate play that. Whatever, because, she plays cello, and I just, I thought it would be so nice. And then I ended up writing like all this other stuff, but we didn't really have time for her to come in and like learn all those parts and record all those parts. And truth be told, I probably made some pretty difficult parts because I was using a VST and I could do whatever I wanted, really high in the range of the cello, which is harder. And, so it just kind of worked out for me to just kind of play them all with the VST. But that first line is actually a panned, she's on one side and the VST is on the other, and they're kind of blending. And it's nice to have that real warmth in there. Yeah. And someone said, is it supposed to sound like a heartbeat, or like I feel like there's a heartbeat? And there's literally a heartbeat sample that I cut up. And you can hear it at the very beginning of the song. The first, as things are starting to swell in, the heartbeat comes in first by itself, and then the kick comes in and sort of gels with it. And the mixing engineer, we were trying to figure out it was like really delicate, trying to get them to sound good with each other. So he ended up just carving out a frequency in the kick out for the heartbeat. So they're like nestled in with each other. But yeah, it's a little bit more subconscious. Yeah, I think feeling. Oh, good. Volmar's here. Yeah. And frequency report. I think it would hit in 432 hertz. Nice. Okay. Noted. Yeah. Moises asks, for the lyric videos of these songs, do the images represent something about the songs? Yeah, I would say so. Silver Screening, the image. So I used an image of the apartment that my family lived in when I was born. I had gone and found it when I was about 10 years ago and took a picture with a film camera that had expired film in it. So it has all these pink and yellow hues. And then I overlaid a very short snippet of a video of my father when he was a baby. I had no idea that they took video, like personal home videos that long ago in the 50s. But there was like 1 second of, like it had the color blocks, and then there was like a second of like dust and stuff moving around, and then the video started. So I just took the dust and I made like a loop. And then I think in the lyric video, there's actually a very short, like 1 or 2 second kind of overlay of video of me when I was a kid. So yes, that one's very like those images are very, very much about the song, or the song's about them, or whatever. And then the your God, yeah. I mean, I wanted it to look really, I don't know, otherworldly a bit. So I used lots of blending layers and things to bring out different parts. And um, but that's the album cover. It's just been sort of distorted. And then calling me back in, yeah, the image I used there was, that's me standing, and I have the photographer edited baby's breath in my eyes. So they're just filled with flowers, and I'm looking up, but they're just filled with flowers. And I thought that was a really haunting image, and it was like, you know, um, but the original image had a very like almost like vulnerable look to it. So I kind of went in between that one and the one with the flowers, and also she made all these versions of like my face being like, um, someone mentioned it reminded them of that scene in Contact with Jodie Foster where she's in the spaceship basically, and she's like her psyche is like being split or something, and she's trying to stay focused and like it's okay, I'm gonna be okay, and then her fears like go off to the side like that. She goes, "Oh God." I love that scene, and I was like, "Oh my God, I think that's maybe why I was so drawn to those images, because it reminded me of that." But that, I mean, that song, there's a lot of layers to the meaning of that song, but yeah, the imagery I thought was really perfect for it. Um, and then what's the other one? Oh, Come to Bed. Yeah, Come to Bed is, I mean, the whole photo shoot was inspired by that song basically. So that's the one where I'm lying down and I have mushrooms growing on me. I have veins and uh, like necrosis or just decay of my hands, and my lipstick is smudged, and it's an image to represent like returning to the earth and dying, and so that felt like the perfect image for that lyric video. I wasn't originally thinking of making lyric videos. I didn't even know I was going to do that. I just knew that I needed to have something visual to go along with the songs on my YouTube channel, or at least the singles. And I just, I don't have the funds anymore, or like the time at the moment to like make like music videos, like really artful, amazing music videos. I hope at some point I can have that experience. It's definitely a possibility. But I decided to do lyric videos instead. I was going to keep the lyrics almost like secret, and then I decided that felt weird. And so they were really fun to make, though. I actually really enjoyed them. It was an interesting process. Thomas just started with lyric videos too. Cool. Yeah. I was using Final Cut Pro. I don't know if there's like a better option software, but spend a minute trying to clean your tattoo off my phone screen. It's funny. Okay. Oh, Macaw says, "Were you musical as a youngster?" Oh, very. I I don't remember this. I mean, I remember we had a piano when I was really little, but I wrote my first song when I was 4. It wasn't that great. I still know it goes. It went da da na 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 na, and then you do that again, and that's the song. And my mom wrote lyrics to it about a mouse. But yeah, after that point though, I was like on the piano all the time, and then I got a keyboard, and I was super musical in school. We were singing, we were playing instruments. It was like a requirement, and I was writing music the whole time on my keyboard. And then I got into producing trance music, in high school, and yeah, went to school for music and all that. Start a Kickstarter for a photo of Milo in the cat bed with the Jodie Foster effect. Actually, I had an option on the Kickstarter that a few people took advantage of signed photos of the cats, and she's here in the bed, but her hand is on the keyboard. I did not make her do it. She put her hand on the keyboard when it was pulled out, and it was the cutest thing ever. A bonus EP of your first songs. I am a mouse and I actually have recordings. So the recording from the end of Finally, where you hear my voice when I was a kid talking to my dad about I'm gonna make an album. There's a piano that's going underneath that, and that's both of those parts are pulled from this long recording I made for him on a cassette, playing him all the songs that I had written when I was 8. So I could. I mean, some of them are kind of neat. I mean, I feel like by the time I was 8, I was doing some more sophisticated things, and there's definitely like some glimmers of like cool stuff in there. But I don't know. That's fun. I do think I should probably release my trance music though. It's so dated. I mean, it sounds like it came from the year 2000 for sure. But it would just be a nice thing to do to probably be like, I finally released that stuff, Am I open to remixes? Well, for some of them, definitely. There's a couple that I guess, I feel like so tender about. I think I mentioned them that like, I'm kind of like not ready, I guess, to like give them to people. Maybe at some point, I don't know. But I really do want to do a remix contest for Calling Me Back In. That's going to happen. I'm just trying to do so many things at once, and I just haven't like prioritized learning how to run a remix contest, what things to avoid, what things to do. I've never done it before. I kind of just want to do a little research first. So by the summer, let's just say that like May 1st would be ideal to have it starting on May 1st and go for like that whole month or something. Is a month a good amount of time? Should it be longer? I feel like a month is probably good. I don't know. Should it be longer? Maybe it should be longer. Are there tracks you decided not to put on this record? Well, I wouldn't say that I had like a track listing and then I took things out. Let's put it that way. Like once I put the track listing together, then that was it. But I had a good 20 more songs that were also like half finished that they didn't get enough finished to be eligible. Let's put it that way. But they may have thematically matched. There was one called For You that would have matched. So kind of maybe. But I haven't touched those in a while, but I will like to go back to those and put them on a different release. Okay, we're going to listen to the last track and then we're going to have to probably wrap up. But this one is Big Womb. It's an instrumental. And this one originally was in a different key. But when I realized that it needed to be sort of the denouement to Silver Screening, I put it in the same key as Silver Screening so that they feel more cohesively connected. And but I think if I go back and listen to the original key, I'll be like, oh, that's how it's supposed to sound. It took a second for my brain to like adjust to the new key. Yeah. Okay, here we go. That's it. Wow. Thanks so much for coming, guys. Thanks for listening with me. I'll leave this live stream replay up. So if you're watching it after it's over, still, thanks for listening and coming. And this album is called Decca. It's my debut album, like of originals, after writing music since I was 4. So it took a little while to get here, but I did it. And if you're in the same boat, I really encourage you to do it. I think it's worth it. I really do. And it's on all streaming platforms. It's also on Bandcamp. If you're more old school, you want to support the artist directly, or you want a CD or a vinyl or a print of the artwork. I think I'm going to be making a lyric booklet as well, separately for people that only have, only want the digital, but want something physical too. So, keep an eye out. It's like a step-by-step long kind of, it's a extended release, extended release drug. Just going to kind of slowly keep coming. And there are still Kickstarter awards that I'm working on, the behind the screens, the learn how to play one of these songs on piano, sheet music, and t-shirts and stuff. So it's all a work in progress, but now the music is everywhere, and that feels really cool. If you want to, yes, it's on iTunes. And if you want to see videos about this, like short videos of me maybe playing parts of it or singing parts of it, the best way to see those is on my Instagram. I haven't really been posting those things on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure why. But yeah, there's lots of short snippets of things on Instagram. So you can look me up there, Ixie Music. You'll see my picture. You'll recognize me. And thanks again for everyone that has purchased the album. Thanks so much to my Kickstarter backers. I mean, literally this wouldn't have happened without you. It's like one of those cliche things to say, but it's really true. And I hope I did you proud. Let's put it that way. So yeah, if you have any questions, message me, leave comments. I read everything, for better or for worse. And yeah, I think we'll say goodbye. All right. I will see some of you tomorrow for 1960. I forget what year, 7. So if you're into the 60s, come hang out. And I believe my mother will be joining me again. So that's going to be fun. She's going to be on camera this time. So, all right. Until next time.